again, and welcome to another All Things Green Month. And this is a 2007 animated film that came out 10 years ago. Yeah, that's right. This month makes it 10 years since it's been released. I don't think it's that bad. I know it has a lot of problems, but I don't think it's much better than the last two films that came out. And that is the 2007 TMNT movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yep, they're green, and I haven't reviewed this film. So, yeah, I watched this movie back in the theater 10 years ago and when I was in college, and I was like, wow, a movie that's not that bad. It's way better than Ninja Turtles 3. I could say that because the Turtles look fine. The CGI animated versions look better than the crappy animatronics they had in part 3. It was nice to see something different. It was an animated movie instead of another live action film. It's short, so it's mercifully short. It's only 87 minutes. It's about as long as the first two films. And I like the action sequences. You know, when the turtles are fighting those monsters and when Leo and Raph fight on top of the roof, really good stuff. You know, the animation is fluid. It's almost Pixar quality. And there's a lot of visuals. The look of the film is pretty cool. And I know a lot of people hate this movie because they're like, oh, it's stupid. Did you see the 2014 movie or Out of the Shadows? Those turtles look like freaking Shrek Hulks and they look freaking terrible. Here, this is a Ninja Turtles movie. It's not Megan Fox the movie or the CGI BS Shrek Hulks that we got last year or in 2014. And there are problems. Like there's, like I said, the story's not the best. There's a lot of things that are in there that are just kind of feel like another franchise, like Scooby Doo or Ghostbusters. And there were some characters I didn't care for, like Winners, voiced by Patrick Stewart. Good voice, but he's not very memorable. Um, the turtles are not together until like about 30 minutes into the movie. Mostly they're in separate side missions. Leo's in South America. Donnie is doing customer service. He's doing customer service on. He's a tech support. Mikey is doing birthday parties, and Raph is on his own being the night watcher. So, but when they do come together, it's a lot of fun. The ending is definitely kick ass with against the Foot with when them and the Foot Clan fight against it's just really good stuff. So the voice of Splinter is kind of weak. It's the voice of Mako or Mako. He was in Avatar: The Last Airbender. He played Iroh. He's been an actor in Conan and a bunch of other stuff. It's because this was before he passed away, so it was kind of like he was on his last leg. So I'm not gonna say he was terrible, but he's not as good as Kevin Clash in the original two movies. But I don't think Kevin Monroe did a bad job with this. I know a lot of people give him crap. There's a guy here on YouTube that's a huge fan of this franchise. I'm not gonna name him, and he is very reluctant about this movie. He's like, oh god, this movie sucks. But could it have been better? Yes. But it could have been a hell of a lot worse, like those two abortions we got in 2014 and 2016. The voice cast is fine for the Turtles. I'm fine with them. Sarah Michelle Gellar, she's better than Megan Fox. I can definitely say that. Chris Evans, I like him as Captain America. Is great. As Casey Jones, he doesn't really work because he's not really as intimidating as Elias Codius. They do have references to the other films. They have Shredder. They've mentioned Shredder. They have the helmet that Shredder had in Ninja Turtles 2 and the samurai helmet from the third one. And they still eat pizza and they live in the sewers just like in the first film. So they do have references. They do reference the other films. It's still continuity. But it's not a terrible movie. This movie got so much crap when it came out. It was a huge hit when it came out. So it wasn't like it bombed. And it did better than the 2016 movie, which I hated. That movie was so forgettable. The Turtles were front and center, but the movie was still just unfunny and just stupid. And they put way too much in that movie. Here, there's some stuff there's some problems, but I don't hate the movie. There's a Kevin Smith cameo. Like I said, the CGI is the way to go because it was a different approach. And I commend them for making these green heroes do something different. It wasn't just, let's just copy the first two films and just do the same thing. They tried something new. I commend them for that. It wasn't just a remake of the first movie from 1990. So I give them credit for that. And even though it's not perfect, I still like the film. I got it on DVD on my birthday because I wanted to give it another shot. And Kevin Monroe also did another film that he did a couple years ago that I actually enjoy called Dylan Dog, another movie that was underrated, that bombed at the box office with Brandon Routh as a lead. It was decent. I didn't hate it. It was definitely different. I like different. I don't want the same thing. I don't want Rogue One. I don't want freaking Jurassic World. I want something different. And this is different. It's flawed, but it still does something different. So screw reboots and remakes that try to just copy things that we've done in the past. This franchise has been around since the 80s. It was a comic book, then a cartoon, then a live action movie, then they had video games and a bunch of stuff. They had Ninja Turtles pies and tons of merchandise, like T-shirts and hats. And I always love these characters. I mean, I like seeing them in animation. Reminded me of the 80s cartoon. I saw the 2003 cartoon. I've only seen the pilot, but I'm going to watch it this year for spring and summer because the Ninja Turtles are fun. I don't want to support those Shrek Hulk looking ugly monstrosities from 2016. Those were not the Ninja Turtles to me. They don't even do martial arts. At least here, they do. So screw you, Michael Bay, for taking that away from the Turtles. They're ninjas. You see that N right there? That's N for Ninja Turtles. They use weapons. They fight martial arts. They hide in the shadows. They don't freaking appear in public in broad daylight and don't use martial arts and throw things like the Incredible Hulk. No, the Turtles have never been the Incredible Hulk. They're green. That's pretty much the only connection they have because they got exposed to radiation, from an ooze. Hulk got hit with gamma radiation. Hulk is human, and these are turtles. They're not humans, but they have human characteristics. And my favorite Ninja Turtle was Michelangelo. When I was a kid, I loved him in the cartoon and the live action movies. He's my favorite. The one I could relate to more is Raph, because I get him being angry. I get him being distant from his other brothers. I get that. I have an older brother, and sometimes we're distant. That's just the way life is. But I like this movie. I don't hate it. I have seen worse. Give me this over the 2016 movie any day, or the 2014 movie, which I didn't even bother to watch. I'll watch it once, but I don't want to suffer through a Shrek Hulks again. Do the franchise right or don't do it at all. And I think this did some things right. It wasn't a complete disaster like the last two films. So I give it credit for that. And for All Things Green, it's perfect for this month. So thanks, guys, for watching. I hope if you haven't seen this movie, it's worth a watch. It's not a horrible movie. It's flawed. The monster stings is kind of ridiculous, and they're collecting monsters. It's like Pokemon or Scooby-Doo. But you know what? I can do a lot worse. And this is not the worst Ninja Turtles movie. Not even close. It's better than Part 3, and it's better than the freaking rebooted films. So I give him credit for that. And after waiting such a long time, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, what were they expecting? Another live action movie with people in suits? That didn't even happen last time. So I'll take this over. I'll take this over anything, especially that stupid documentary that came out. The definitive history of the Ninja Turtles? Yeah, bullshit. That's not the definitive history. So, but aside from that, I like this movie, and I'm glad I got it in my collection finally. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Take care, comments, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video next time. Later.